Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Memorial Stadium for our final high school game of the year. Along with Bill Edwards, I'm Dave Williams, and Bill, it's appropriate on this weekend where you got the latest college football game of the century.
Right.
We have the high school football game of the season, a big game tonight.
It is, and it's the first time I can remember in a long time where a Savannah High BC game really was significant in this aspect. It's probably been at least a decade, maybe 12 years, Dave, since the playoff ramifications, because Savannah High is in no matter what. Of course, they want to finish with an undefeated season, and they stand a darn good chance. But BC still is not assured of getting in the playoffs because of some other games that are going on tonight as well.
That's exactly right. BC now, a win will give them the sub-region championship, and both BC and Savannah High would be in. But if BC were to stumble tonight, they have to hope for Statesboro to lose to Bradwell, which is a possibility. But you don't want to have to rely on somebody else. You want to get the job done yourself.
Control your own destiny, and the Cadets can do that. Now, I have a feeling that I'm going to lean towards Savannah High in this game as far as picking a winner because of the way Effingham ran over them, and I know how great Savannah High's running game is, but there's no saying that, the Jim Walsh and his staff haven't done some things to compensate on defense for that and are certainly prepared for just about anything because defense has been a hallmark at Benedictine for years.
So this game is really meaningful. As Bill mentioned, Savannah High going for a perfect season. That has never been done at Savannah High, so that's going to be a key to watch for tonight. BC fighting for their lives as far as the playoffs are concerned. We'll be back with the opening kickoff for tonight's latest game of the year, and we'll be back with that after these words from our sponsor, Cablevision of Savannah.
So do you watch it?
No, it's a music channel. You listen to it.
Oh, so you hook it up through the stereo?
That's right, and it's easy, too. Look, I'll show you how.
Music Choice is just $5.95 a month?
Crazy, isn't it? And you get this remote control that works everything.
Remember the Manhattans?
I like Jodeci.
But what about the OJs?
Johnny Gill is better, but keep trying.
But I get them all on Music Choice.
And there are no commercials and no interruptions.
No, I like commercials.
I gotta go.
I like commercials.
Welcome to the Sunset Music Fest from Dollywood.
Today's hottest bands and yesteryear's legends come together on cable this week. TNN presents a 23-day extravaganza rolled into one spectacular special, the Sunset Music Fest.
Exactly.
And Bing is back in a Disney Channel event, a retrospective of his greatest work, Bing, his legendary years. Cable specials not to miss this week.
To the affirmative.
On Cablevision of Savannah.
Dave Williams, Bill Edwards back with you from Memorial Stadium. We're ready to play some football here as Savannah High and BC do battle for the sub-region and city championship. And the kick by Jason Elkins is taken by the up man. And that is Jay Edwards, and Edwards breaks it all the way up to the 40-yard line. So immediately Savannah High starts with good field position. That's the last thing Benedictine wanted to start the game.
Isn't that the truth? And I want to welcome everybody here. We wish that more people were in the stands. I'm really surprised that there's not a larger crowd for this game, biggest one in a long time, as we said, Dave, but there are still people coming in. They've had plenty of time to get here.
The crowd is all on Skidaway Road. That's where the crowd is.
Yeah, they've had plenty of time, but in typical Savannah fashion, let's wait till 5 minutes before the game before we leave for the stadium.
Well, maybe they thought the game is the pitch back goes to Meaty Lewis, and Meaty Lewis is stacked up after a pickup of about 5 yards. The quarterback is Demetrius Bryant, but in typical fashion, I guess they must have thought this game was starting at 8 o'clock Central Time tonight.
Yeah, I think so. They're still pouring in over there, and still plenty of seats if you'd like to rush on out here and get here.
Well, if you rush on out by the time you're hearing this, you're going to be by yourself in the dark.
You're going to be awful. You better get ready for the longest tailgate party in history.
2nd down and 5. You'll be in plenty of time for next year's game, though. 11:05 left in the first quarter. And Demetrius Bryant on 2nd down. Meaty Lewis goes in motion, and a little collision in the backfield between Bryant and Raymond Bacon, and he is stacked up lucky, really, to get back to the line of scrimmage on that play.
Looked like a screw-up back there, Dave, where they didn't have the play ready. He went to one side instead of the other or something like that, but there was a problem on the exchange, and BC had it down pat. In fact, I think he probably lost about a half a yard or so.
So 3rd down and about 4 yards to go for Savannah High first down. BC's defense trying to stiffen the pitch back to Meady Lewis. Tries to cut the corner, but good defensive pursuit by BC prevents Lewis from getting the first down, and I believe that was Ben Weinberg, number 69, in on the tackle.
He got very close to that first down, though, Dave. I'm not so sure he didn't get it. Billy Giles, a referee, is going to call timeout for a measurement.
Let's take a look at the replay, Bill, and see what we can determine on this.
Good pitch here. Meady, of course, didn't have a whole lot of room over there. Went to the strong side.
And you might be right. It depending upon where they spotted the ball. Obviously, though, they will go for it on 4th down, even if they don't pick it up here. And they stretch the chains out, and I think he's got the first down. He does. He just got it by the nose of the football there, and so it's a first down for Savannah High. The ball just shy of the midfield stripe. They'll mark it by the 49-yard line. First down and 10 for Savannah High School. And Demekus Bryant, the quarterback, as the Blue Jackets look for a perfect 10-0 season. The pitch back to Meady Lewis, and Lewis breaks free, and Lewis has big yardage. Lewis is out in the clear and down inside the 35, down to the 33. What a tremendous effort by Meady Lewis. It looked like he was stopped on that play and then got big yardage.
That's what makes him so dangerous, Dave. He was hit on the corner, and it looked like he was going to go down, and it finally took Tyrone Bush to bring him down the nose guard way downfield after he'd picked up about another 10 or 15 more yards as we take a look at it real quickly. And
we'll take a look at it in a minute.
Let's in a second.
Look at the live action first, then we'll go back and take a look at that run as Demekus Bryant brings his troops up to the line. The ball at the 34, and Bryant swings it out complete to Henry Fisher, and Fisher is brought down at the 28-yard line. If the truck can roll it, let's take a look at that last Meady Lewis run prior to this play.
There you go, where he just breaks outside. It looks like somebody has him there.
Gets down. It looked like he was wrapped up. In fact, his ankles were wrapped up, it seemed to be, and he just kind of stepped over that.
Well, Savannah High Band has finally arrived. They weren't here in time for the national anthem, so we didn't have it tonight.
The ball at the 28-yard line, or the 26-yard line of BC. Bryant back to pass, now being flushed from the pocket. He's got plenty of running room, and Bryant is inside the 20, inside the 10, and down to the 5-yard line. Demekus Bryant makes the most out of nothing and down to the 5-yard line.
They were really good at spreading that defense out, Dave, because all of a sudden everybody was trying to find somebody to cover, and BC right now is not looking good on their open field tackling, and that one almost went for a touchdown.
And it's good to hear the enthusiasm of the Savannah High crowd, which at this point is just as large or larger than the BC gathering at this point.
This may be the largest crowd that Savannah High's had at a ball game in 20 years.
Light on the line, a perfect season. Of course, the sub-region championship, a playoff berth for BC. To pitch back to Meady Lewis, and Meady Lewis gets inside the 5 down to the 4-yard line where it'll bring up 2nd and goal. Let's take a look at this last Demekus Bryant run there, Bill.
You can see him just rolling out here and just keeps on going.
And that's what you were talking about. We touched on the opening, Bill, about Effingham running the ball on BC, and Savannah High, not only can they run the ball, but their speed and quickness is much better than that of the Rebels.
Far superior to Effingham's, right.
So Demekus Bryant, the ball at the 4-yard line as a man goes in motion. They pitch it back to Lewis. Lewis cuts to the outside, and a nice tackle brings him down at the 3-yard line, or at the 5, and I believe that was number 31, Todd Phillips, making the initial hit coming up from the secondary position.
I believe you're right. Todd did a great job.
It was Todd Phillips coming up from the secondary position in the backfield to trip up Meady Lewis, and Lewis, in fact, lost yardage on that play. It's back to the 5-yard line, so 3rd down and goal. We'll see what the BC defense is made out of here, Bill. as they have a crucial situation. Savannah High wants to call timeout to talk about it.
Before my BC friends stopped me on the street next week and mentioned that tackle that I'd credited to Tyrone Bush a while ago, he plays for Savannah High. Let's credit Matt Record with the tackle that was made a little bit earlier upfield in the secondary on that first long run Lewis had. This is an interesting situation, Dave, with Savannah High coming down here. You know, we saw this earlier in the season on a nice goal line stand that Jenkins put on earlier in the year, and it would certainly bode well for BC right now if they could come up with something similar to that. But here you take a look at that crowd that we were talking about, that Savannah High traditionally has not had very good crowds over the last 10 or 15 years at their ball games, but the significance of this game certainly has brought a lot of people out. I saw just some people that were sitting in the stands who have no ties to these schools whatsoever that just came out
wanted to see
to see the game. So
well,
that's good to see. I want to see more of the community get involved in this.
It's just like the Florida State Notre Dame game, where you may not necessarily have an allegiance to both to either school, but you want to be there for the happening.
Absolutely.
So a third down and goal situation from the 5. Demekus Bryant looking to pass. Bryant is flush from the pocket again, looking for the end zone, and he will be denied just shy of the end zone, about the 1-yard line, as several cadets were in on the tackle, among them Ben Weinberg again.
Also, Brian McFeely was in on that, and they closed the door just in time. As you can tell, that ball's not too far away. We've been critical of this year. We take a look at this again, but we've been critical of the condition of the field, and it's still not in tip-top shape, but you can tell that the county workers and all have done a good job of getting this field ready for this ball game. They've even got a little green dye on there.
Yes, they have. 4th down and 1. Here's the key situation they were talking about. Meany Lewis touchdown. Just too much penetration that time on the offensive lines of Savannah High, and they got the necessary yardage, and Meany Lewis takes it in for the score.
They did a good job, and BC just couldn't crunch it up in there because you never know, because Savannah High can run wide, they can pass this thing. They have so many weapons that BC couldn't afford to just crunch it right up there in the middle.
That's why a team with a good running attack is so effective in the red zone goal line situation, because you can just bow your way in there. The extra point attempt by Sean Futch is up and good. And so with 5:54 remaining in the first quarter from Memorial Stadium, your score is Savannah High 7 and Benedictine nothing. Bill, there you can see a bit on that shot. It may look a little better on your monitor at home, on your television set at home, than it actually looks in person. It kind of looks funny because of the torn up spot in the middle of the field last week from the rain, in the 3 ball games that they played at this facility last weekend in a 24-hour time span. With the conditions the way they were, just literally tore this field up last week.
Yeah, but again, they've worked on it. It's obvious that they have.
Absolutely.
And although, like you say, if you're here, it looks kind of strange because it's so spotty the way it's the dye that's been used. But the field does, that they have done some work on it, and they've done a great job lining it off. There's no doubt in your mind as to where those lines are.
Absolutely.
And so congratulations to those people. We just need to get a new turf down here.
Give them something better to work with. Sean, or the kick is being fielded by Patrick Schumann, and Schumann gets across the 25 to the 26-yard line, and that's where Charlie Russo and company will take over for the first time today. So Bill, BC is behind 7-0, but they're a team that can't afford to fall too far behind because of the type of offense they have. It's a ball control offense, and that's not conducive to catching up too much.
No, it's not. And speaking of ball control, we only have 5 minutes and 45 seconds left, so Savannah High chewed up a good half of the first quarter just on that drive. As fast as it was, they still kept that clock rolling.
And so BC will get their first possession, and Russo gives it to Reeves Elmore, the up man through, and he gets virtually nothing.
In the meantime, Russo darn near got killed by his halfback.
That's right, Patrick Schumann just
comes
ran
over and ran over him.
Russo says, wait a minute, it's bad enough I'm going to be hit by the defense. I don't need to be getting hit by you either. The ball up at the 28-yard line for BC. You call that a pickup of 2, 2nd down and 8 for the Cadets. They trail 7-0. We're approaching the 5-minute mark of the first quarter, and it looks like most of the crowd is going to be here right now at Memorial Stadium. The traffic jam seems to have diminished, and there's Patrick Schumann with the give, and Schumann gets across the 30 to the 31-yard line where it'll bring up a 3rd down and 5.
They're going to have to make some things happen, Dave. There's no doubt about it. They're going to have to go to the air and try to spread that Savannah High defense out just as Savannah High spread theirs, because they're not going to be able to make it just running up the middle on these guys.
BC, regardless of what happens here tonight, though, has to be satisfied with their season. Obviously, they want to make the playoffs, but rebounding to a 7-3 season, considering where they had been the last couple of years, would be good, even if they lose tonight. But, of course, they want much more than that. And Charlie Russo is rolling out. There's the pass he's looking for, and Russo has some explosive ability, too, and he gets close to the 1st down yardage across the 35 to the 36. Looks like he's going to be about a yard shy of the 1st down, however. Nope, he's got it. We're at an angle here, so Russo had it. So where we saw Demekus Bryant, let's take a look at this replay where we saw Demekus Bryant earlier. Here's Charlie Russo returning the favor.
Russo, again, as you say, just has that great ability to get away from people. Slid right through the defense there and picked up the 1st down, and that was a much-needed play for them.
They got him. That was a design rollout, too. They had him rolling out, nothing available passing, and so he ran the ball, and there's Patrick Schumann again, and Schumann gets up near the 40-yard line.
2nd guy through, and Schumann had nowhere to go. The hole had really never materialized.
So it brings up a 2nd down and 9. Schumann picked up 1 yard on that play. So a very rapidly paced first quarter, approaching the 3-minute mark. Savannah High kept the ball for over 6 minutes, and now BC has eaten up almost half of that. So it's been ball control all the way right now. BC, of course, still with possession of the pigskin, and there's Patrick Schumann going wide, and Schumann gets up to the 44-yard line. A nice pickup there. It'll be about 3rd down and 5 to go.
They're going to have to continue to do that, Dave. Run to the outside, run to the inside a little bit, maybe fake to the inside. And, they're going to have to hit a couple of passes.
You may see some of the play action passing from BC. They like the safe passing, and that's ideal for the kind of offense they run, because the run is a legitimate threat, and that's the only way that a play action pass can work, is when you have a legitimate running threat. And, of course, BC has 3 with Elmore, Carlos Williams, and Patrick Schumann, all 3 of which are in the backfield now for Charlie Russo and company on 3rd down and 3 at the 44-yard line. And it's to the up man. No, Russo keeps it. He faked it to Elmore, and Russo kept it and got the 1st down up to the 49-yard line. He faked me out there for a minute. I thought Elmore got it and busted through the line, and I think it may have fooled Savannah High there just momentarily.
It was just long enough to free him to go to the outside, and Charlie's one of those slippery runners, because a couple of people had him before he got the 1st down, but he was able to scoot away and get him.
1st down and 10 for BC, the ball at their own 49-yard line. So after Savannah High took their opening possession and marched it in for a Meaty Lewis touchdown, BC trying to reciprocate here as Charlie Russo has the Cadets on the move. 1st down and 10, Russo with a give to Patrick Schumann, and he has nowhere to go. He got maybe a yard up to midfield, and that's it.
Oh, they're just not gonna get much through the middle of that line.
So 2nd down and 9 for BC. The ball splitting the midfield stripe. John David Muller bringing in the play from the Benedictine sidelines. Here's a pretty good bet. It's going to be a running play, but we'll see. 2nd down and 9. is going to be 5 yards against BC as Hunter Chadwick left early for Benedictine.
Hunter just had one of those, you know, I thought we were going on that first snap type, you know, first count mistakes.
So now they shuttle in another play, so it would be interesting to see if this doesn't change the play call on 2nd and 14. Will BC put the ball up here from their own 45-yard line? Here you see the clock there, only 33 seconds remaining in the first half. In the quarter, rather. Thank you for straightening me out. Russo swings it out to Carlos Williams, but it's a little high and incomplete.
It was also well covered. It's just as well he probably didn't catch it. He wouldn't have made much yardage, and he certainly would have gotten hurt.
So now that brings up 3rd and 14. You figure if they threw on 2nd and 14, they're going to throw on 3rd and 14. So let's see what Coach Jim Walsh Sr. decides to do right now. That 5-yard penalty at this point really looming large, because that may have changed what BC wanted to do.
And Jim Walsh Jr. coming over to cheer Dad on tonight.
That's right. Johnson's season is finished. This was their bye week for the season, so they wrapped up their campaign last week, a disappointing one for the Smashers, who made the state playoffs. And speaking of disappointing, there's Charlie Russo having to eat the dust, the dirt there, as he is thrown down, and that was number 76, I believe, Fuchs Lewis, that brought him down. Let's take a look at this, Bill.
72, I think.
72? Well, we'll see on the replay. Oh, 76, yep, Fuchs
sure
Lewis.
Enough.
Fuchs.
Here comes 72. He was really late. That was the only 70 I saw out there.
Russo just had no shot on that. They were back on their heels. They knew. They said,
yeah,
well, if they threw on 2nd and 14, they're going to throw on 3rd and 14.
They came with the blitz, and it worked to perfection. And now they really have a long way to go, and it's it makes it tougher on the punter. And of course, they'll switch ends of the field here for a second as the first quarter comes to an end. That was a fast first quarter.
Well, yeah, just a 2-possession quarter. We mentioned Savannah High took over 6 minutes off the clock, and then BC had just done that. There you see some of the BC throng on the other side of the field there. And they'll...
I think they used some of that green dye on our camera, didn't they?
I don't know.
Yeah.
4th down and 21 is Chris Freck. Well, it got into everything. It got into some of our cameras. The scoreboard was kind of quirky early on in the ball game before they finally got that fixed to start the game. Now, Chris Freck is back to punt to Meaty Lewis. Lewis, of course, a dangerous guy back there. So Freck gets a good kick away, too. And Lewis fields it on his own 30 and gets some blocking, and Lewis has some running room.
Yeah.
And Lewis has some running room. Meaty Lewis, see you later. No one will catch Meaty Lewis. You saw that all over the place, and Meaty Lewis high steps it into the end zone.
Yes, sir. Well, we talked about how dangerous he was, and once he got outside, and BC's forte this year has not been open field tackling, and that was obvious in their first drive. And then there you go.
And you could see that they set that wall up beautifully, Bill. That was not that bad of a kick as far as hang time wise.
No, it was pretty good.
And they had good time to get coverage, but Savannah High set up a beautiful wall for Meaty Lewis, and with his speed, no one was flat out going to catch him. It was just that simple.
Well, Michael Thompson had about the only shot at him there at first, and when he got blocked out of the play, that was about it.
Fumbled snap. Demetrius Bryant picks it up, and he overshoots his receiver, Antonio Brown, or else that would have been a 2-point conversion. So a bad snap on the conversion keeps the score Savannah High 13 and Benedictine nothing.
And I think it's all important now for Benedictine not to panic and try to get this all back at once. There's still lots and lots of time left just to get out there and roll and start to just start to get some of that yardage. Get your, don't go away from your game plan. Just keep going and not panic.
They still have plenty of time, like you say, to run their game plan. And I mean, the defense, of course, you can't fault the defense for that score. That was given up by the special teams. But those are the kind of big plays that BC has to avoid. When you have a team as talented as Savannah High, you cannot give them a big play like that.
And you have a runner like Meady Lewis, who's just incredible.
It's going to be a very interesting, we're coming up on Funacaro Award time, Bill, and it's going to be a very interesting balloting for the Funacaro Award. Meady Lewis, of course, deserves some consideration, and Majid Lanier Beach has had a phenomenal year. So it would be very interesting to see who gets it out of those two, and that's a free football.
Sure is.
BC was just standing around there before they finally covered it.
I can't believe it was such a short kick. You know, you figure that you're going to have some people up, and this ain't a punt, folks. Once that ball goes 10 yards, it's live.
So BC comes out of it in relatively decent shape. They'll get the ball at the 27-yard line, but now, as you mentioned, and I'm sure Jim Walsh Jr. knows this, BC can't panic here. Just go ahead and run the offense, the same offense you've gotten there all year long, and try to get one score back at a time. You have to score once before you can tie them. So at this point, they have to maintain their composure. Charlie Russo with the ball at the 27-yard line, and a play action there. They try it. Russo eludes one and then finds Reeves Elmore, who I believe was his secondary receiver. And Elmore is pushed out of bounds at the 31, but good presence of mind by Russo.
Really was. Elmore was definitely the safety valve on that one. I think he wanted to go deep and maybe catch Savannah High off guard, but there was great pursuit. Was that 83 that came pouring in through there?
Yeah, I believe it was.
And give him a rough time there, and really.
Taj Bethune.
Yeah. Came in there and forced Russo out of the pocket, but Charlie did a great job getting that off to his safety valve.
So it is second down and about 6, despite what the scoreboard says. It's not first down. And now, what is this call? Was the play stopped? No, I think they just said Elmore's forward progress was stopped, so Elmore gets nothing. The ball at the 30, and it's third down and 4.
Did that play do anything?
No, it didn't.
I didn't even see it develop, much less.
Well, they stopped his forward progress immediately, and that's why you got the quick whistle. And
I kept looking for the flag as quick as that whistle was. Oh, well.
Somebody from Savannah High must have been in the BC huddle that time and heard that play. Third down 6. The ball at the 30-yard line. It is third and 6. The scoreboard keeps changing. You see the view from ground level there on the field. And Charlie Russo back to pass and swings it out. There's a flag down. John David Muller makes the catch, but there may be a motion penalty coming up here against BC.
I'm sure Savannah High will decline the penalty. He didn't make it about a yard or so on the pass. Had to curl back and get it. Charlie had to hustle up to get that one off.
And that's what the indication was from Billy Giles. It is illegal motion against BC. That will be declined, and Chris Frack will come on and punt for the second time this evening. So that was not exactly what BC was looking for. Their 3 and out was the last thing they needed there. They needed to get something sustained. So I guess Meady Lewis got tired with this last punt return, so now Sam Osborne is going back to try to return this one, and this is a punt that's shanked out of bounds.
That one went right up the elevator shaft for the most part.
And let's see where the 48-yard line. So Savannah High is sitting pretty again, already up 13-0. They have possession of the ball at the 48-yard line.
That's not where you want to give BC the football, or Savannah High the football.
Does this surprise you at this point that there's 9:59 left and it's a 13-0 ball game right now, or the explosive ability of Savannah High is not that surprising?
Well, as we had mentioned before the game, Dave, I thought that Savannah High was going to be able to exploit the BC defense because of the way Effingham had, and given the superior ability that Savannah High has over Effingham. but I was hoping that the BC had made, you know, proper adjustments, and it's still very early in the ball game. But
Demekus Bryant has a man wide open, and it is pass interference as Todd Phillips collides with Henry Fisher. But I tell you what,
it was not pass interference, although that's what they call. The ball was not
they
catchable.
Collided. It was not catchable, and it looked as if Fisher came back into Todd Phillips a little bit to try to draw the flag.
He did.
That should have been a no call there.
Yeah. That was simply, that ball was overthrown. There was no chance for him to catch it.
But I tell you what that was. You know what that flag was a result of? The reaction from the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Because that flag really wasn't thrown until the crowd reacted, and it was a case where Todd Phillips was just kind of standing there, and Henry Fisher went back and kind of bumped into him to try to draw the flag, and it worked. But it was not a catchable ball. It should have been no play, or it should have been a play, but no flag. So the ball, it's a 15-yard penalty. The ball resting inside of 35 at the 34-yard line. First down and 10. And now there's too much time, I guess, on the part of, or an equipment problem or something here.
Savannah High illegal procedure.
So that'll back them up 5.
Must have been obvious because 3 flags went down at the same time.
And before the play was run, so it's now first and 15 as the ball is backed up to the 39-yard line of BC with Savannah High up 13-0, 9:52 left in the first half. Demekus Bryant looking to pass again, and he shoots it out to his man Sam Osborne, and Osborne is thrown out of bounds at the 25-yard line by Todd Phillips.
Now that should have been a flag.
That should have been a flag, absolutely. He just kind of slung him out of bounds. That was an obvious flag, whereas the last one wasn't. So I guess they're
making up for it.
I guess they're even. So it's now second down and 7. Or second down and 3. The ball at the 27-yard line of BC. Demekus Bryant pitches back to Meady Lewis, and Meady Lewis is met and tries to spin away from a tackle, but didn't do it that time. As he gets to the 25, they're going to be a yard shy of the first down, 3rd and 1.
Brian McFeely did a great job on that play, and we had talked about BC not doing well on the open field tackling, but you're going to see McFeely do just a superb job here. There it is, the pitch back, and watch McFeely just going to grab him down there, hit him hard, bring him down.
And still at that, Lewis still almost broke away from that. And
Ben Weinberg was there to finish it off.
And there's a give ahead to Tim McGee, who just checked into the game, and McGee gets down to the 22-yard line, enough for the first down, 23-yard line rather. And there you see the Blue Jackets shooting for the first ever perfect season at Savannah High School. That's hard to believe with their storied history, isn't it?
Well, I'm telling you, yeah, when you figure they've been playing football since about 1912 or something there, yeah, you'd think there would have been a couple strung along the way someplace.
That just goes to show you, though, how hard of a task that is to go through the year unbeaten. Demekus Bryant keeps his feet and is run out of bounds at the 21-yard line. And Demekus Bryant reminds me a lot of a Charlie Ward type of player. Obviously, we can't put him in that kind of a class, but as far as his ability and what he can do back there, you have to guard against so many things with Demekus Bryant.
He does have a lot of weapons, and that of course is the scariest thing to a defense, because you never know what he's going to do. A little pump fake, and you have to respect that, and all of a sudden he can take off and start running, and he's an excellent broken field runner.
8:32 remaining in the half. Savannah High on top 13-0. The pitch back to Meady Lewis, and he's going nowhere. 3 cadets were right there to wrap him up at the 20. Again, Brian McFeely, one of those in on the tackle.
Several cadets in on that besides McFeely.
Let's take a look at it here.
Todd Phillips having this one diagnosed.
Todd Phillips, in fact, made the initial hit on Meady Lewis, again coming up from that secondary position. 3rd down and 7. Benedictine's defense needs to bow its necks here and prevent a score here. They're already down by 2 touchdowns. Bryant pump fakes, still rolling from the pocket, but he goes down, and that is number 68, McLeod Rominger, who got in and brought him down. A big defensive play by Rominger.
That really was, and BC really needed that at this point, and to try to stop Savannah High. They certainly didn't need to go down 3 touchdowns.
So now it brings up a 4th and 11, and they're going to bring in Sean Futch here. They're going to attempt a field goal. I think they are. Sean Futch is coming in. They're going to spot this ball at the 32-yard line. It will be a 42-yard field goal attempt here for Sean Futch. And the kick
looks pretty good from here.
Good. Sean Futch hits a 41-yard field goal, 42-yard field goal. It's not often you see that in high school football, and Savannah High is psyched. They lead at 16-0, and he looked like he had about 5 yards to spare on that one,
Well,
Bill.
there was no doubt he had the distance, Dave. We couldn't tell from our angle whether it was good or not until it kind of went through, but I'm telling you, he nailed that one good. There was no doubt that the distance was there for sure.
So with 7:02 remaining in the first half, your score is Savannah High 16 and Benedictine nothing. So right now, Bill, everything is going right and coming up roses for the Savannah High Blue Jackets.
Yeah, I think I think that would be a safe bet.
I mean, when you get a 42-yard field goal in high school football, that has to be considered a bonus. I know BC's defense had to feel pretty good about stopping them on that play, but now they're just demoralized even more because they just made a 42-yard field goal.
Well, you know, you can't look at it from that standpoint, other than the fact that, look, they held them out of the end zone, and that's, you know, that was the top priority at that point, because you certainly couldn't afford to go down, I don't think, 21 or 22-0.
And Carlos Williams receives the kick, and Williams is brought back across the 26-yard line, and BC again starts in not so great field position. So field position has also been a key tonight, Bill. Savannah High has had it. BC certainly has not.
No, they haven't, and they're going to have to start, you know, deep in their own territory again, and they're going to have to put a few things together to give their defense a little breather on the sidelines too. It's up to the offense now to make this thing go.
6:50 remaining in the first half. BC trailing 16-0 as Charlie Russo trying to get a sustained drive going for his Benedictine Cadets and at least close this margin some. Carlos Williams trying to utilize his speed, and Carlos Williams is hit out of bounds at the 32. I don't know what the Savannah High crowd is going so crazy about. That was a pretty good pickup on the part of Carlos Williams that time.
Yeah, I thought it was a good hit, and I think there was a little too much extracurricular activity after he was knocked out of bounds, too.
Well, that's something they really need to curb tonight, Bill, when you have a rivalry like this.
They need to curb it early, too.
Exactly. I mean, it has a tendency, if they keep allowing those extra hits like that, the intensity of this rivalry in this game could get out of hand. 2nd down and 2, a pickup of 8 on that play by Carlos Williams. So all the cheering in the world for Savannah High didn't help that time as Patrick Schumann gets the first down across the 35 to the 36.
A little bit of a hole there for Schumann, and notice how once they started running outside and doing that little pitch, how much more room he had. A while ago he was getting, you know, 1 yard, half a yard. That time he got 2 and enough for the first down.
So first down for BC, the ball at the 36-yard line. They're on 36. Savannah High is 16 and BC nothing. We have 6 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the first half of Memorial Stadium in the game for the city championship. And Reeves Elmore breaks free. Elmore breaks out of the pack. It is into Savannah High territory down to the 40-yard line.
That was the quick opener, Dave, where they've been giving it to the second man through. They decided to give it to the first guy this time. The hole was there, and Elmore has, once he gets up a head of steam, he really has some momentum going, and he had a great run on that play.
So the big fullback for BC, 218 pounds, still just a junior, got the big yardage. The ball is spotted at the 42-yard line, first down and 10. BC desperately looking for a score here before halftime to at least cut into this lead. And there's the pitch back rather to Carlos Williams, and Williams uses his speed, and he's pushed out of bounds hard. And again, Sam Osborne, and there's the flag.
There's the flag.
You knew that was coming. Sam Osborne running his mouth instead of paying attention to what he was doing, and it's costing Savannah High 15 yards. Stupid, stupid, stupid. It's the only way to talk about it.
You took the words right out of my mouth. He did a little extra shove there on the sidelines, and there's just no excuse for that. Tommy Macon ought to chew his behind at the halftime.
This is too big of a game. This is not a playground. You
That's
don't
right.
run your mouth. Go about your business and stop running your mouth. It's just that simple. It's too big of a game. Cost your team something like that.
I don't know what the Savannah High fans are booing about.
It's nothing to boo about. He should have gotten 30 yards for that. And I'd say the same thing if the BC guy did that. No place for that.
No, there's not. And in fact, he's lucky not to get tossed.
Doggone, if you want to do that, go to the University of Miami. That's what they're known for there anyway. First down and 10. The ball at the 18-yard line. Charlie Russo with a little help from Savannah High as the team on the move, and he is stacked up that time. And still, there's a little bit of extra that time, but not as bad as that's number 72. Eric Cutter brought Russo down.
They're hitting hard, but at least that one was
clean.
Legit.
That's right. Ball at the 15-yard line, where it is second down and 9. And now BC wants to call timeout to set it up. This is a good chance. I don't know if the truck can get up the standings, but while we've got a timeout, let's try to take a look at the sub-region standings in both A and B, and we can tell you the significance of this game. We've already talked about it. Savannah High, of course, a perfect 6-0 in sub-region A and 9-0 overall. BC is at 4-1. There you see it, Savannah High rather at 5-0, BC at 4-1. That Y we have next to Savannah High indicates that they have clinched a playoff spot regardless of what they've done tonight. And there's Benedictine at 4-1. Here's the scenario. If BC loses tonight, you see Statesboro down below. Statesboro and Bradwell play each other. If Statesboro beats Bradwell, then by virtue of Statesboro's win over BC earlier this year, they'll get the number 2 slot.
That's right. And again, you know, you sit there and kind of shake your head about that sub-region deal that Georgia High School Association has, because here are teams that belong in the playoffs.
That's right. Let's take it over to sub-region B right quick. Not to cut you off, Bill, but
sorry.
There's Beach. We wanted to show Beach is already locked up first place over there.
Yeah.
They will be in the playoffs. A great job by Charlie, but a great job by Charlie Smith. They rebounded from 0-3. The other goes between Brunswick and Camden. If Camden beats Effingham County tonight, then Camden will be in. So here we go. Second down and 9 as Charlie Russo gives it to Carlos Williams, and Williams inside the 10 down to the 9. And Bill, I realize BC hasn't scored yet, but this is just what BC needs if they want to make this a football game.
Certainly, because you're only, you know, technically you're only 2 touchdowns down.
Or here's another scenario for you. If they score here and go for a 2-point conversion, you're only a touchdown and a 2-point conversion down.
Right.
So they may opt, you don't know at this point, they may opt to go for that 2-point conversion where you're only one score away from tying up the ball game.
Well, the odds of making two two-point conversions are pretty slim. What you want to do
true.
now is just get in the end zone and get a touchdown.
And there's a late flag coming in. I don't know, did Savannah High run their mouths again? They're pointing, I don't know, BC's applauding. There may be an unsportsmanlike coming up here against Savannah High again. Let's see, it was a flag after the play.
It was the other side of the field, and
holding.
Got a holding call.
So that will be accepted. Let's take a look at the replay. See.
And what makes that so stupid is the play hadn't. Hello. Yeah.
Coming
that
right
play
at
went
you.
to the that play went to the other side of the field.
That's what one of your fans down here wondering why. How did that happen when it was away from the play?
Yeah.
And now we've got another timeout called by Savannah High with 4:12 remaining. It is 16-0. So we discussed the sub-region picture. It's what would happen. And plus another incentive, I'll tell you, another reason one of these teams wants to finish in the top spot, they want to try to avoid Beach. The way Beach is playing right now and have come on lately, the loser of this game, or, well, Savannah High, if they lose this game, will have to take on Beach next week. And the way Charlie Smith has his team playing, I don't think either one of these teams envy the prospects of having to play Beach next week.
I don't blame him. Charlie Smith does such a superb job anyway, but the fact that it's one of the trademarks of his teams has been finishing strong. They might be a little sluggish, but he is absolutely brilliant, he and his staff, of finding out what the problems are when they're having them early in the season and doing something to correct them and getting the kids and keeping them motivated, because
Right.
it's so easy to get discouraged when you do lose 2 or 3 games at the start of a season.
But a good coach that he is, the way you motivate him, you say, we lost those 3, but they don't count. They weren't sub-region losses. We still got a sub-region schedule to play, and as you can see, they had not lost in the sub-region. First down and goal for BC at the 4. Reeves Elmore will take it down to the 1-yard line.
He is close.
Some of the players are signaling he got in, but no official determination on that yet.
It's the guys in the striped shirts
right.
that have to signal it.
And there is no signal forthcoming, so he got it down just as close as you could get it to that goal line without getting it in. There you see where the ball rests, right there. So second down and goal, BC looking for a score here.
This has been an impressive drive, Dave, and whatever they've been doing.
But let's not forget the 15-yard personal foul penalty that helped tack on this drive too. But you're right, it has been an impressive drive, and Charlie Russo looks like he's checking off at the line to dive to Elmore, and Elmore is in. We have a signal from the side judges, and BC has gotten on the scoreboard as Reeves Elmore takes it in to cut the Savannah High lead down to 10.
He was in there up to his hips. Why did it take so long to call that?
Well, none of the guys close to the play called it. It was the side judge way back over here that called him in for the touchdown.
Maybe they thought he faked it.
And there's Jason Elkins to attempt the extra point here. And it splits the uprights. And so with 3 minutes and 22 seconds remaining in the first half, we now have a football game again as BC trails Savannah High 16-7.
Well, that was just what the doctor ordered, Dave. It was a well-executed drive, and what was so impressive was the fact that, they hadn't been able to run up the middle. We had talked about that, but Charlie Russo got them together, and whatever changes they might have made or whatever they were exploiting and what the coaches did to change some things, but giving it to the first man through instead of trying to fake it to him and then go to the second is really testimony to what a great job they're doing over there at BC this year, and that's why they've had a good season. And this one is far from over.
Well, the key here are these next 3 minutes and 22 seconds here for BC. Here they worked hard to get back in the game. The last thing they need to allow right now is a long kickoff return or Savannah High to tack on another score before halftime.
Correct. They need to, the defense has had a breather. Special teams shouldn't let them down. And we'll just see what happens.
Meady Lewis and Raymond Bacon back to receive the Jason Elkins kick. and it is a squibbler. They want to keep it away from Meade Lewis, and they do as Raymond Bacon fields the ball, and Bacon has nowhere to go as BC is all over him, meets him about the 26-yard line, and BC is now fired up. It's amazing what a little score can do for your morale, huh?
And that was good open field tackling. Again, they've made some adjustments, making the play, because earlier they'd let guys like that get away from them.
And so now, and they were also determined not to let Meade Lewis touch that ball. And Lewis was trying to tell Bacon to get away from it, but couldn't. But there's Lewis with the ball now, and good pursuit that time by BC. But Lewis still squirmed his way up to the 31-yard line. Michael Thompson with the tackle there for the Cadets, but still a pickup of about 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 4. They'll call it a 6-yard pickup. Have 2 minutes and 38 seconds remaining in this first half. And if the latter part of this half is any indication at all, this could be a real barn burner before it's over. It would be nice for the game to live up to its hype. Demekus Bryant, flush from the pocket, has nowhere to go. BC did good credit to BC's secondary for covering up the intended receivers there. Bryant had nowhere to go with it, and he was sacked for no gain. 3rd down and 4.
That was a good play, and the BC defense is doing the job right now. They need to hold them right here.
Big 3rd down and 5 situation here. The ball at the 32-yard line of Savannah High. They lead it 16-7. We're late in the first half. Bryant looking to pass again. Still looking to pass. Has a man open, but overshoots his receiver. It was intended for Henry Fisher out there, and Bryant just had to get that away because he really had some pressure from coming.
Way overthrown, and good coverage down there by Todd Phillips.
And the BC defense gets a hand from the throng on the other side of the field.
As well they should. It's nice to see a crowd at Memorial Stadium. We still need some more people in here, but it's nice to see a crowd for a change. Usually this place looks like it's empty.
Gee, this was almost as good of a crowd as we had last week for Savannah Christian and Calvary.
Almost.
16-7 as Demekus Bryant goes back to punt the ball to Alan Fleming, who is back for BC. And don't discount Alan Fleming. And Bryant keeps the ball, looking to pass, and he has his man, and it is complete to Raymond Bacon. And that's what you have to watch out for when your quarterback is the punter. He can always fake it, and that's what he did. And BC wasn't prepared for it.
They sure weren't. And Bacon was wide open. Wide open. And that can be a demoralizing factor, and you still got almost a minute and a half. Or as Larry Munson would say, 85 seconds to play and a half.
What do you got, Lauren? So you're right. That has to be demoralizing to the BC defense. Here they are. They just stopped. But you have to be on the lookout for that kind of play when you know Demekus Bryant is a quarterback.
Well, then again, you know, you have to give credit, a little bit of credit to Savannah High, too, because they might have been looking for that play.
And maybe it was executed so well. And even the bands are getting booed here tonight. Boy, this is... We're going to go down. Let's see if we can get into the huddle here. I don't think we're going to be able to pick them up.
Not with Tommy turned around like that.
It's going to be difficult. Tommy had his back to us, so it was going to be difficult to pick him up.
Nice try, though, guys.
That's right. Yeah, that would be nice. And what is all the booing about?
I have no idea. Maybe they're saying Dave.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure that's what they're saying. First down at 10 at the 49-yard line of Savannah High. They lead at 16-7, 1:25 left. The hand, no, Bryant still has it. He faked it to Lewis, has his man Osborne open, out of bounds. No, sir, he's out of bounds.
Great play.
Great effort, though, by Sam
great.
Osborne.
Oh, fantastic. Gee, that was pretty. If it had worked, that would have just been awesome.
Boy,
that's how dangerous they are. I was going with you on the fake, too.
Yeah, I thought Lewis had the ball, but before you know it, Bryant comes out of it with it, and that's why Savannah High is 9-0.
Man.
They look very impressive here tonight. The first couple of times we had them, Bill, they got off to a sluggish start against the two opponents that we had them.
Not tonight.
Not tonight. Boy, they're clicking on all cylinders at this point, and that play almost went for big yardage. 1:16 left, second down and 10 from the 49-yard line. Bryant slips down that time, and Brian McFeely was there applying the pressure.
And McFeely giving himself a little more credit than he deserves on that.
Yeah, that was more the ground that helped on
it.
that. Bryant lost his footing there. And there you see the clock superimposed in the lower right-hand corner of your screen there. Our fine crack staff from Hurdy Broadcast Services doing their usual stellar job tonight in our last game of the year. And we hope that you've enjoyed our proceedings this year. As Demetrius Bryant rolling out, looking deep, has his man Osborne. He's wide open, and he drops the ball. Oh, my goodness. Sam Osborne wide open, and he drops the football.
So he catches one out of bounds. And a spectacular catch. This one's right in his hands, inbounds. And
wow.
I'll tell you, there's nobody I know more unhappy than him, but nobody more frustrated than Demetrius right now.
And Bryant can really throw that football. Bryant has some kind of arm that he's displayed here tonight, and now
he had that one nailed. That was radar guided.
Bryant going back in punt formation this time as Alan Fleming hopes to actually receive this kick. And there's a bad snap. Bryant gets the ball off, though. Demetrius Bryant showed some of his athletic ability there, and Fleming lets it bounce, and BC will take over at the 20.
BC missed a golden opportunity. If they'd have had a rush on, they might have been able to block that thing and had the ball probably around the 20-yard line.
And look for BC here to be very conservative, not try to make any mistakes. They will be more than satisfied with going into the locker room down by 9. But I tell you what, if Savannah High shows the mixture in the second half that they just showed on that last drive and the way Bryant can throw that football, BC is going to have their work cut out for them in the second half.
There's no doubt about it. And the Cadets are going to take their time.
In fact, Russo will probably go down to one knee. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they may not even get the snap off, and he does, and Russo plows ahead with it, and that will be the last play.
Boy, he's a glutton for punishment. I think I'd have just gone down on one knee rather than try to quarterback sneak.
So a very entertaining first half. Quickly, Bill, your comments. It's 16-7 Savannah High, but I think BC has to feel fortunate at this point to be within 9 points.
Well, I think they should be. I think they should congratulate themselves on really stopping some things because Savannah High was on the verge of just blowing this thing wide open, and BC prevented that and came down and put together.
Dave Woodward's back with you from Memorial Stadium here in Savannah. We're at halftime where Savannah High leads Benedictine 16-7, and BC will get the ball back to begin the second half. Tim McGee getting ready to kick the ball to Carlos Williams and Patrick Schumann. And Bill, it's going to be important on this first possession here for BC to maybe establish and keep the momentum going, as the ball was taken by a backpedaling Michael Sergi, and Sergi gets the ball up to the 27-yard line, and that's where BC will take over their first possession of the half.
Got a decent field position for them, Dave. It's something they didn't enjoy in the first half. Let's see what they're able to do here. If they can come down and drive and score, we're going to have a very, very interesting ball game on our hands, I think.
Again, the scenario, in case you're joining us late, first of all, if you're joining us late, shame on you. But if you are, it's for the city championship, but more importantly, it's Sub-Region A's title Savannah High has already clinched a playoff spot, but BC can win the sub-region with a win tonight. The pitch back to Carlos Williams. He loses the football and climbs right back on it. Almost disaster for BC.
It was not a particularly good pitch. I don't know, it just didn't seem to go out with much authority there, and Carlos didn't look like he particularly wanted it at first.
Carlos kind of hesitated getting back there on it, and then when he saw the blue shirts about ready to surround it, I guess he thought maybe it would be a wise thing to get on the football. So the ball back to the 20-yard line. That's a loss of 7 on the play.
Well, it could have been worse.
That's
BC
right.
could have been in real trouble.
But that was still an inauspicious way to start the second half for BC. Second down and 17 from the 20s. Charlie Russo calling the signals and to give to Reeves Elmore, and there's that quick hitter again. It has big yardage up across the 30 to the 31, and it will be third down and short coming up.
Elmore does a great job of running, and he had some nice yardage on the play, and I think surprised Savannah High. They were more or less expecting probably a pass attempt, and BC, that was a great call.
And that is Reeves Elmore. We apologize for adding the S to his last name there. Reeves Elmore for BC. The ball at the 32-yard line. Third down and 7 for BC. And Russo rolling out. He is under pressure, being chased by Eric Cutter, and then he is finally brought out, run out of bounds by Cedric Harris.
Yeah, I think run out of bounds is probably a nice way to put it. He was,
as
here
we take
he goes,
a look at this.
Running out, and it just didn't look like this play stood a chance from the beginning. Savannah High, knowing probably that they were going to pass.
The initial flush from the pocket was made by Eric Cutter. He applied the initial pressure on Russo, and then Cedric just came over and took up what was left. Chris Freck's punt to Meady Lewis. Bounces, and Lewis covers it at the 44-yard line of Savannah High, and that's where BC, or Savannah High rather, will take over. So again, great field position.
Something they've enjoyed the entire ball game, and Meady Lewis was also rather foolish trying to get that punt as it was, because he had to sort of fall and dive for it on his knees. Had it gotten away from him, Benedictine would have had the great field position all of a sudden.
So the Blue Jackets with their first possession of the second half, the ball at the 44-yard line. That's where Demekus Bryant and company take over, and Bryant gives the ball to Meady Lewis, and there's that speed of Meady Lewis again, and this time, though,
a little better open field tackle.
Brian Foyce would have none of that, or Fuse would have none of that. Fuse just wrapped him up and kind of slung him down, but still good yardage, and you could see that time the acceleration and the speed that Meady Lewis has.
He is incredible.
First down and 10 for Savannah High. The ball at the BC 42-yard line. The Blue Jackets on top 16-7, 9:35 left in the half. In the quarter, rather. And there is Tim McGee, and Tim McGee has big yardage down to the 32-yard line.
Oh, I tell you, he was just dragging everybody with him on that one.
So just when you key on Meady Lewis, here they come up with Tim McGee.
And BC wants to burn a timeout, I believe. No, the timeout for a measurement. I'm sorry, I apologize.
He may have it. I think the
He's
original line
close.
was at the 42, and they looked like they spotted it at the 32
Looks like
here.
He's got it probably by almost the length of the football.
He does.
Yeah, half the length.
So Meady Lewis, or rather that was Tim McGee who picked up the first down. And with 9:20 remaining in the third quarter, Savannah High on the prowl again. So the Cadet defense needs to come up with a big stop here if they want to remain close in this football game. In motion is Antonio Brown, and there's Tim McGee again, and Tim McGee is a man possessed again. Another 10-yard pickup down to the 22-yard line. And Tim McGee's not even their starting running back.
Well, he's been holding back. and letting it all out tonight. Brian McFeely had a shot at him after about a 2-yard gain or so and let him get away, and McFeely was just beating the ground once he pulled free from his grasp. He knew he'd let him get away.
That was a 9-yard pickup for McGee, so it's 2nd down and 1, the ball at the 23. And so Savannah High comes out to start the second half the way they came out to start the ball game, and that's driving it right down Benedictine's throats at this point. And there's Demekus Bryant, and Bryant on the keeper, has the necessary yardage, I believe, for the first down. It's going to be awfully close, but I think he has, no. They're signaling 3rd down. He was short. So he got only about a half yard on that play.
Decided to keep it himself, and BC diagnosed it well.
Third down and 1 for the Savannah High Blue Jackets. And there's the give. Demekus Bryant keeps it and gets it down to the 20. First down, Blue Jackets. Just a very methodical drive at this point, Bill. The Savannah High has utilized their speed and quickness to perfection here.
They have, I think, probably put together, about to put together a drive that could be extremely detrimental to the Cadets' effort here.
And there was a timeout called by the officials. There may have been I don't know if there was a chain problem or what the deal was, but whatever it is, it's been rectified. The ball at the 20-yard line, first down and 10 for Savannah High School. They're looking for a perfect 10-0 regular season as they go into the playoffs with momentum. There's Demekus Bryant being flushed from the pocket, has his man open, and that is caught by Henry Fisher, or is it ruled incomplete?
Should be ruled incomplete.
And it is. It looked like he had possession of it for just a moment and then dropped it. So it's ruled an incompleted pass, 2nd down and 10.
Good coverage on that for BC. Michael Thompson back there. Great job of coverage.
Now Demekus Bryant gives the ball off to Meady Lewis, and Lewis trying to stay on his feet and springs free. Look at that, still picked up 4. He made 4 yards out of nothing there.
Absolutely. And once again, you know, getting away from initial tackles. Hunter Chadwick had him by the ankles at first, and he managed to pull away and still get about 3 yards on the play.
Ball 3rd down and 7 for Savannah High at the 16-yard line, and there's complete to Henry Fisher, but they will be short of a first down. Oh, no, they do have the first down to the 9-yard line. And it will be 1st and goal for Savannah High. There's a nice slant-in pattern there for Savannah High, very effectively run pattern. And Demekus Bryant delivered it to Henry Fisher right on the money.
And once again, Michael Thompson there to make the stop, but not before they picked up the first down, and Thompson was kind of upset with himself.
So 1st and 10, Savannah High very methodical the way they're marching the ball to pitch back to Meady Lewis, and Meady Lewis is down at the 5-yard line where he's wrapped up by 3 Benedictine defenders. So impressive has Savannah High been tonight here, Bill.
They have, and they probably, because of BC's ability to stop them on some of the big plays, they could easily have 2 more touchdowns had it not been for some good defensive efforts by BC and a couple of drop passes on Savannah High's part.
That's right. That big drop pass at the end of the half there by Osborne could have led to a touchdown too, and put a different light on this game at the moment. But That's all a thing of the past right now, but Meady Lewis will go nowhere that time as he stacked up for no pickup.
Well, Meady met BC because just about everybody was in on that one. That center of that line just held like crazy.
Here's a replay. Let's take a look and see it. This great defensive effort here. You'll see it from ground level.
Wham. Just nowhere to go. And there's McFeely right there leading the charge.
But did you notice something there, though, that how Meady Lewis was continually driving his legs there?
Oh, yeah.
He was still trying to fight even then, but his forward progress had been stopped. 3rd and 5 from the 5. 3rd and goal from the 5. Bryant looking to pass for a touchdown. Has his man, and there it is. That is number 88, Michael Ellison, with a touchdown pass. And Savannah High made that look awfully easy. A nice rollout that time by Demekus Bryant on 3rd down. And oop, there it is, according to the Savannah High fans. A lot of hollering and then
whooping it up over on the Savannah High sidelines.
Now Eric Futch will attempt the extra point conversion. And he has plenty of leg. Boy, Futch has been really kicking the ball tonight. And so with 4 minutes, 34 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter, your score now, Savannah High 23 and Benedictine 7. And Savannah High, Bill, very much looks like an undefeated team tonight.
They do indeed, and I'll tell you, if they keep this up, they are going to remain undefeated in this one. BC has to put something together, and they have to do it in a hurry because, once again, look at the time consumption, Dave. We're 4 minutes and 34 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. So BC not only needs to get something going, they got to get it going in a hurry. It's time for the rubber to meet the road here.
And BC is really realistically back to a 3-score situation as well. They're down by 16 points. You know, we touched on it earlier. Technically, 2 touchdowns and two-point conversions can do it, but you mentioned how tough it is to convert twice on 2-point plays.
Correct.
And so now we're going to get the kick. The kickoff will be Dwan Williams, and it's taken by the up man, Sergi, and oh my goodness, Chris Harris just annihilates Michael Sergi. What a hit. Michael Sergi saying, wait a minute, I'm an up man. I'm not supposed to be returning this ball and taking shots like that. But
well, he returned the last one and had a pretty good return.
Chris Harris, though, just
boy, he really got racked.
So it's 1st down and 10. BC with the ball at the 32-yard line, and the Cadets are in desperate need of a touchdown here. Charlie Russo gives the ball to Reeves Elmore, who's still on his feet across the 35 to the 36-yard line to pick up a 4. 2nd down and 6 for the Cadets.
Elmore really impressive the way he runs. I mean, it's just he seems to be so kind of nimble for a guy of his size. He just keeps those legs driving and makes some good yardage. That play didn't deserve to get but 1.5 yards, and he got almost 5 out of it.
So 2nd down and 6, the ball at 36. 3 minutes 40 seconds remain in the 3rd quarter with Savannah High on top of BC 23-7. And Russo pitches it back to Carlos Williams. Williams tries to cut the corner and does, and makes a nice run up near midfield where he's stopped at the 48-yard line of BC.
That's the way they have to do it, Dave. Just, don't panic. Stay with your game plan, but mix up the plays. Get the pitch out there on the corner. A lot more authority on that pitch from Russo than the one that almost was disastrous on that fumble a while ago.
So 1st down and 10 from the 48-yard line. Russo, the quarterback. And to give, it is pitched back to Carlos Williams, and Williams inside midfield to the 47 of Savannah High.
Again, that pitch again. Still making good yardage on it. long as it works, keep going to it.
2nd down and 6 for the Cadets. They just gave the Statesboro-Bradwell score here over the public address, and Statesboro leading Bradwell at the moment 12-6 in the 3rd, so that's bad news for Benedictine if they want to make the playoffs. If those two scores hold up, Statesboro's in and BC's out. Carlos Williams is down.
They had that one diagnosed.
Sean Futch on the tackle. So Futch not only kicking the ball well tonight, he's coming up with some defensive plays as well.
Futch, I tell you, doesn't look like a kicker, does he?
No.
I mean, he looks like he's back there playing that linebacker or defensive spot or something. But boy, he can sure kick the daylights out of that ball.
Well, he had plenty of leg on that 42-yard field goal he kicked earlier tonight. 3rd down, 12 now. That was a big loss, so BC probably will have to go to some sort of play action. And let's see if Savannah High is back on their heels here, expecting it. And there is Russo. Gets the ball out to Carlos Williams. He has running room and the 1st down inside the 35 to the 34. A big 3rd down conversion for the Cadets.
Nice play and great protection for Charlie Russo. He had all night to throw that football.
That's really the best protection Russo has had all night long, by far.
Sure was, and at a time when they really needed it.
So 1st and 10 for the Cadets at the 35-yard line of Savannah High. It's 23-7. The Blue Jackets leading, and Statesboro's just tacked on another score in that game. So the news looking gloomier and gloomier for the Benedictine faithful at the moment, but the Cadets trying to control their own destiny here. And Russo loses his footing on that mess of a field, and his forward progress is stopped, and it'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 35.
It is really treacherous traction down there, and that's one of the things I wanted to point out that was so impressive about Reeves Elmore a while ago, Dave, was the fact that he was getting, tough driving yardage on the slickest part of the field.
That's right. Right in the middle of the field is where it's really torn up, because naturally that's where most of the playing is done, in the middle of the field there. And so it's 2nd down and 10 from the 35-yard line of Savannah High. Charlie Russo trying to get his team going, and Russo, no, I guess he hung on to it. I don't know how he did. Now there's a late flag coming in, so must be some more extracurricular activity after the play. And the way Savannah High's reacting, I think it's against them.
Yeah, they're upset about something. Personal foul again.
And the Blue Jacket faithful a little ornery over there about that call. And there's what we're talking about. You can see from that shot there, Bill, how badly the middle of the field is chewed up here.
And, Dave, at one point, they really fixed this field up nice a few years ago and got it about where you want it. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. You have to maintain that. You have to keep, this is, a full-time job maintaining this field.
After each week, they should come out as the 3rd quarter expires. After each week, and this is what they do at Georgia Southern, after every game, they're out there cutting that grass again and maintaining the grass. Now,
they need to water it and cut it immediately.
Granted, there's only one game a week usually, or there's not really one game every week played there, but that's still no excuse. There's usually no more than 2 games a week played here at Memorial Stadium.
You don't have to do anything but go up to Springfield and see Effingham's field. It looks like a putting green, and they practice on their field. They play recreation ball on that field. There's just as much traffic on the field in Springfield as there is on the one here. And we are not casting any aspersions on the groundskeepers here or on the people who are in charge of maintaining the field. They are stretched thin. They have very few workers to maintain all the fields that they have. I think the county has something like 64 fields, including all the baseball fields that they have to maintain. But this is your showcase field, And this is the one they need to put some money into, and the county commissioners need to look at something. And from what I understand, from what I was told from Tom Swinford, a friend of mine over at Jenkins, that the 1% option sales tax is going to start putting some money into this. They're going to be getting some extra money out of that, and that could go to get this thing fixed up.
Well, they seem to be able to maintain Garden City Stadium pretty well, and that's under the
great field.
County auspices too, so there shouldn't be much difference there. As Reeves Elmore.
No, Garden City maintains their own field.
Oh, do they? Okay.
Yeah, the city itself maintains that, and that guy, and there's an example, because here's a guy, you know, this man that works at the Garden City Stadium. And out in Garden City takes a lot of pride in that, and he is there cutting that field every day and making sure that it's watered and properly seeded. And that's the thing that you have to do here. It has to be watered and properly seeded. You have to fight things like army worms and everything else, all the problems that you have, and because they have the same problems up at Georgia Southern, and it's a constant job.
Charlie Russo, as BC has it 2nd and 8 from the 18-yard line. And there is a give up the middle to Elmore, and he gets down to the 15, and a pickup of 3 again. But this drive is taking entirely too long on BC's part. They have 10:58 remaining in this ball game, and they can't take this long to score if they want to try to come back.
They definitely, from what we hear from the Statesboro score, they want to try to come back.
If they want their season to continue, they do. So 3rd down and 4. BC with the ball at the 15-yard line. And there's the pitch back to Carlos Williams. And Williams is tripped up at the last minute.
I thought
he would have been gone.
Yes, sir.
That was Raymond Bacon making the trip up, or else Carlos Williams is gone.
6 points.
So the ball at the 10-yard line, and a 4th down and 1 situation for BC. Savannah High bringing in some defensive reinforcements here.
And again, Dave, you know, and I don't know what it's gonna take to get the Georgia High School Association to wake up or something, or that the sub-region thing is just, I mean, it's just so asinine to have a team like BC, who may be 7-3, and casting, you know, I don't mean this, you know, to say that that Beach doesn't belong in the playoffs or anything else, but 5-4 team making the playoffs, and a team that's 7-3 doesn't make the playoffs. There's just that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Well, what it basically does is it renders the regular season meaningless.
Yeah.
Virtually. Outside of the last 5 games of the year, why even play the first 5 games of the year if they're not going to mean anything? And there's the give to Reeves Elmore, and we're trying to be objective up here, and we are objective, and we're happy for the turnaround that Charlie Smith has done. But you should take the teams, if you want 4 teams to go to the playoffs, then take the top 4 teams record-wise and do it that way. But 4 teams. But why have 4 teams go? Why not have the top 2 teams and have them play it off for the region championship?
And shorten the season by a week. You don't need high school kids playing 15 games to win a state championship.
We were looking the other day, as I'll get into that in a minute, the pitch back to Carlos Williams. And Williams has denied the end zone. But we were looking the other day, the state championship football game will be played on December 18th. That is the same night that the 1AA national championship game is also played.
Yeah.
So they will end the season at the same time that the 1AA national champions would, and that's ridiculous.
It really is. And another little nifty thing that they have at GHSA is their playoff system, or lack of it, for a state championship.
Yeah, they could wind up tied.
You can wind up with a tie for the state championship. Now they'll go to all this trouble
during the regular season
to play off, you know, Squedunk and Lower Slobovia, and send them into double overtime or whatever it is that they do, a dumb system that they have.
And there's the give, still denied the first down, or the touchdown rather. That was Schumann, or Elmore rather.
But during the season, they'll go to all this trouble to break a tie, and then they won't do it for a state championship.
Now Bradwell coming back a little bit now on Statesboro, up in Statesboro, so.
Well, I'll tell you, BC's not out of this thing yet.
No, but again, I still claim that they're taking too much time here. They don't have the time to be taking time-consuming drives when they need 2 scores. And there's Charlie Russo with 1. And now, Bill, you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if they go for the 2-point conversion here, simply because it would put them within 1 score, and you may not have enough time, although they brought in Elkins.
No, you don't want to put that kind of pressure on them at this point.
But with 8 minutes and 16 seconds, are you going to get the ball back twice where you can score? I mean, you may have to think about it at this point where at least you're only 1 possession away from it, and even if you miss it, as the extra point is up and good, and it's now 23-14, even if you missed the 2-point conversion, you still would be no worse off than if you had kicked the extra point. So with 8:16 remaining in this ball game, but Jim Walsh Sr. has been coaching a lot longer than I have. 23-14 to score in favor of Savannah High. And that was Charlie Russo just taking it in. And an impressive drive. It took a long time, but an impressive drive nonetheless for the Cadets.
And again, aided Savannah High shooting themselves in the foot. They aided that drive with a 15-yard penalty.
That's right, another personal foul penalty. And now, do you risk an onside kick here? Is that a possibility with 8:16? I mean, you have to do something out of the ordinary at this point when you're 9 points down and only 8:16 left in the game. So let's see. Savannah High doesn't buy into the onside kick theory, so let's see what happens. I don't know if the footing would be good enough where the ball is to even attempt that. It appears they're going to kick it straight up, though. Nope. Here's the onside. And it's recovered by BC. I don't think it went 10 yards, though. BC saying they have it, but I'm not sure the ball went 10 yards. And that's what the officials are saying. I do not think the ball went 10 yards. The ball looked like it hit a BC man before it went 10 yards, Bill. And that's what the call is. The ball hit a BC player before it went 10 yards, and then the Cadets recovered it. Because remember, they kicked the ball off from the 40. And it looked like it was touched by a BC player at the 49.
It was a nice try. BC had all the players there. The ball just didn't go far enough.
BC did actually recover the kick, but of course, once the BC player touched it before it went to 10 yards, it's automatically Savannah High's football. So they were thinking on the same page about the onside kick, and they disguised that well too, Bill.
They did.
There's Demetrius Bryant pitching back to Meady Lewis, and there's Brian McFeely meeting him head on, and then he's driven back into BC Cadet defense, trying to keep them in the ball game. 7:48 and counting, 23-14, but time back running out, or quickly running out for BC.
I'll tell you, we had a halftime that lasted a little less, not quite as long as World War II, but when they've played football, the clock has run like crazy.
They've gotten after it, that's for sure. And there's Demetrius Bryant faking and then rolling out. Bryant trying to pass the ball and has his man, but Ellison can't hang on to it.
I'll tell you, the drop passes for Savannah High tonight will be enough to make the Easter Bunny cry.
Michael Ellison, who caught a touchdown pass earlier, couldn't catch that. Now here's a key play for BC. If you can hold Savannah High to a 3-and-out situation here, you have to feel pretty good if you're BC. But again, as long as it takes BC to score touchdowns because of the type of offense they have, they may not have enough time. Here's 3rd down and 10. The pass is overshot. Henry Fisher out there, and there's no call on that. The Savannah High fans want some kind of call. What kind of call do they want?
I think they wanted pass interference or unnecessary roughness or something.
And there was neither on that play. It was just a play that was overshot, and now Demekus Bryant will punt the football away for Savannah High. So 7-12, there's a 4-and-out situation or 3-and-out situation that BC was looking for, provided Demekus Bryant doesn't fake this one again.
They better look for it.
And Bryant gets to punt off. Alan Fleming signaling for the fair catch at the 18. And there's a flag down, and I don't necessarily agree with that flag. He gave him the necessary distance.
Yeah.
And Brian McFeely is upset about something, though. I don't know what the call was. Savannah High is clapping.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that call could be. Let's see what Billy Giles tells us. What was that signal?
I have no idea.
Illegal forward pass. Did he pass the ball?
I said illegal fair catch, didn't he?
Illegal fair catch. Well, maybe he started running with the ball. I don't know.
He didn't move.
I don't understand that call. I mean, he caught the ball dead in his tracks. It didn't go anywhere. How can it be an illegal fair catch?
Because he didn't signal soon enough?
Well, I saw him waving his hands. You heard me call fair catch.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Strange call.
We'll have to check on that one.
Like to get some clarification on that one. That's a new one.
I've never seen that before.
It's only a 5-yard penalty. First down and 10.
Yeah, but that's 5 yards you'd like to have.
Right. There's a pass almost intercepted out there by Jamal Stevens. They tried a little timing pattern out there, trying to throw the ball to Dodd Patterson, but the only one who could have caught that ball was Jamal Stevens for Savannah High. So second down and 10 as Jim Walsh obviously realizes he has to come out throwing the football here.
Savannah High also wanted offensive pass interference on that one, and I think they might have had a case.
Second down and 10 for the Cadets. Russo rolling out again, looking deep. He has Carlos Williams out there, and he overshot him. If Carlos Williams could run under that one, that's 6 points.
Well, not only that, Dave, it didn't look like he, I mean, it's easy for us to sit up here and say he didn't try, but it looked like he didn't stretch out for it. I think if he'd have stretched out, he might have gotten that ball. It just looked like he sort of put his hands, just sort of put them out in front of him instead of really stretching for it.
That had 6 points written all over that one because I think with Williams' speed, there was no one that was going to be able to catch him. And Charlie Russo really aired that ball out. Don't be surprised if BC goes back to that play again.
That looked nice. He certainly had his defender beat, and had he stretched out, there's a possibility he might have tripped up or something, but my word, he'd have made 50 yards on the play.
We almost had ourselves a brand new football game there. It's almost a 2-point, or could have been almost a 2-point game that time. There you see the clock. Third down and 10 for BC. The Cadets won't go away. They're still trying to fight in this one. Russo rolling out. He's going to keep it, and Russo will go down at the 17-yard line. And it'll bring up a 4th down and long, and BC has no choice here. Well, they're going to punt. This is surprising. BC really... do you understand this?
Well, you still have a chance. And you don't want to give you certainly don't want to give Savannah High the football here.
But you still need 2 scores.
Well, I understand that.
And you got 6.5 minutes or better left. So here we go. Meady Lewis.
Good hang time, but nobody downfield.
Has it, but there's a good containment, and Ben Weinberg is right there to make the initial stop along with McLeod Rominger.
After the early problems with the open field tackling, and there's a flag on the play back down on the 40, Dave. But their open field tackling has improved drastically.
So there's clipping, and also their special teams play in general since Meady Lewis broke that long touchdown run his first time. The first time he touched it on a punt return. And this is a big penalty. It's going to push Savannah High back to the 32. So now what BC needs is a turnover of some sort here.
They're going to have to force something, and you know, at least they have to hold them, not let them get out of this hole.
And they have to do it in 3 downs and out too. They can't.
Oh yeah.
They can't afford for Savannah High to take any time off the clock.
We're at 6 minutes and running here.
23-14 your score. Savannah High leading BC as they are 5:55 away from an undefeated season. And there's Meady Lewis up to the 34.
This has been everything it was billed.
Outside of that, the BC defense has played very well, and you take away that punt return by Meady Lewis, and you've got a 2-point ball game right now. So that's really basically the difference in this ball game. And of course, Futch hitting the big, the long field goal, 42 yards. Each team has scored 2 offensive touchdowns. And the pitch back to Meady Lewis looked like he wanted to pass the ball for a minute, and Lewis cuts upfield and
he's got a
tackled at the 41 and has the first down at the 42 rather. And Meady Lewis knows where he is on the field too. He's signaling he has the first down. So now Savannah High, of course, definitely very much in the driver's seat. All they have to do is maintain possession for 5 minutes here, or really not that long. If they eat up enough time, BC won't have any time to do anything. And they're keeping the ball, and there's the fumble.
That's the one you wanted.
And there's the turnover BC was looking for, and they got on it. So BC gets a big break, and coming out of the stack with it is Matt Record, number 64, coming up with a big Benedictine turnover. So no sooner than I mentioned it there, Bill, there it is.
Yep. And 4:44 to go. BC's going to have to do something in a hurry. I might not, wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that that pass.
Well, they still have to pretty much put the ball in the air, because remember, they have to have 2 scores here.
Yeah,
and they need to score. They need to score once here very quickly, or relatively quickly. They need to score within at least 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes if they're to have a chance in this ball game. Charlie Russo with the ball at the 45-yard line for BC. The Cadets trying to fight their way into the playoffs. Russo scrambling, still looking, and Russo overshoots Patrick Schumann, but
that's all right. That was a good.
That's exactly right.
That was a wise decision.
That's
sure
exactly
as they don't want to lose 20 yards.
They'll take that every day of the week and start fresh again on 2nd down and 10. So the ball at the 45, and in fact, it was a good enough play that had he connected on that play to Schumann, they had some yardage in front of him too. So 2nd down and 10 for BC. The ball at the 45-yard line. Savannah High on top 23-14, but the Cadets trying to give them a finish as they know by now that they're not getting much help up in Statesboro, and this is probably fighting for their lives at this point. And they went to Dwald Patterson, and it was just overshot.
Either that or they're just not running on those routes, Dave. I mean, it just looked like.
Well, that was one of those quick hitters there, Bill, where Russo released that ball almost immediately after he got it. And it was just one of those things. 3rd down and 10 now. BC staying with the passing game, and they don't have much choice at this point as the ball is blown away from, or moved from where the original spot was. Four minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the ball game. 23-14 Savannah High. The ball at the 45-yard line. BC in possession in Savannah High territory. Charlie Russo rolling it out, loses his footing, pitches back, and Carlos Williams has to fall on it. And that play was a disaster from the beginning. Russo lost his footing, is coming up slowly, and then Williams was lucky to get the ball back.
Well, he did one of those splits, Dave. When he lost his footing, he was going one way and his back leg slipped the other.
So it's 4th down and 15, and this, for all intents and purposes, is your ball game here. And for that reason, Charlie Russo has called timeout.
Yep, this is when you want to burn one. You have 3 minutes and 33 seconds to play. You're 4th down and 16, and you really do need the first down for sure.
Well, if they don't get a first down here, they virtually really have no shot at all.
Oh, no.
Coming back in this one. Let's listen in on Coach Tommy Macon.
Look, watch that tight end. Watch that tight end screen.
If we're in flex, you do, okay? But we're going to run weak flex, strong flip, right?
John, lay that thing back, rush.
Run real flex. Sir, sir.
Lay back, go this time.
We're going to strong flip this time. Here we go.
Hey, pull him up in the end from the backside, bust him in the mouth. Let's go.
Sounds like a pretty good defensive philosophy to me there.
Yes,
just
sir.
bust him in the mouth.
Just bust him in the mouth. That ought to take care of it.
And we hope you're
and he doesn't and you know, Tommy doesn't mean that in the pejorative sense by any means. You know, it's just one of those.
That's football lingo,
That's,
folks.
yeah, that's football slang.
That's just like smash mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Charlie Russo being flushed from the pocket, looking down deep, and it is intercepted. Sam Osborne on the tip, interception, and is at the 31, and then there's a late flag coming in. It may have been on the block during the return, but Savannah High will have possession of the football. I think the flag came in.
Yeah, clipping on Savannah High. John Crosby called it over there.
And I tell you what caused that pass to be picked off. It was the great defensive pressure again by Savannah High. I mean, Russo has been, let's watch it, Russo all night long tonight has been running for his life here, and this no exception.
You know, flushed out of the pocket, comes over here, tries to pass, and of course it's going to be deflected off of a BC player, I believe.
It was. It was the intended receiver, and I think it was Daud Patterson who he was looking for, and it tipped right off his hands, right into the hands of Sam Osborne, who, interestingly enough, as Demekus Bryant gets up to the 20, this is Sam Osborne's only year of football at Savannah High.
I think you're right.
He's been playing basketball his whole time, and his senior year he decided to go out for football, and boy, isn't Coach Tommy Macon glad he decided to play football this year.
Isn't that the truth?
He's been.
I bet Tommy wishes he'd have had him a couple more years.
But Osborne, of course, one of the stars on the Blue Jacket basketball team, who of course always are strong under Coach Ron Love.
Doesn't he do an amazing job?
It is. Of course, he churned out, for those of you who aren't familiar, he churned out Purvis Ellison, who's now with the Washington Bullets of the NBA. Up to the 22-yard line is Demekus Bryant and BC using their timeouts, but it's going to be very difficult at this point. 2:18 left in the game, down by 9 points. It's going to take just about a miracle at this point for BC to win this football game.
I would think so, but they've had a superb season, and like I said, it is a crying shame that it has to end here because of the season that they've had, and this has taken nothing away from Beach. Let's listen in to Tommy Macon.
All right. Go right. 36 bootleg. 4 combo.
Remember it. Be right in the middle, waiting.
All right. Get the first down, 6 yards.
Anybody
Y'all block.
Anybody right? 36.
Y'all check. Wing right. 36 bootleg. 2 combo. 2 combo. All right.
I'm cut.
Go through and come back across back underneath.
And kudos to our crew down there for getting those pictures. That's something you don't always get to hear, and it's always interesting to be able to go into the huddle and hear what the coaches have to say. And kudos to our crew down there doing a sensational job. Eric Lemon down on our ground level camera there, and It's just fun to hear what goes on in those huddles. So you know what the play is, although we don't know the terminology, and it's Demetrius Bryant rolling out and eating some time off the clock and is brought down at the 20-yard line, and BC calls another timeout. And that's their last one.
Yep, and there was that little bootleg that Tommy had asked him to call. I'll tell you, Tommy Macon, head coach at Savannah High, does such a superb job with these kids. He's the kind of guy you want coaching your son, you know?
That's exactly right, and he came in under adverse circumstances. I'm sure the longtime Savannah residents know the story, how he came to Savannah High in a coaching shakeup about 7 or 8 years ago.
When he was at Tompkins, right?
Right, when he was at Tompkins. He came over from Tompkins really right before the start of the season. I mean, we're talking about a week before the start of the season. He was over at Tompkins and then came over to Savannah High and has done a great job, and there you hear him again.
I knew how they line up. We go real 6 on them, but we don't have everybody quiet. Block. 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 Damn it. Block. Block them out. You don't no free people. You stay in here. Block and cover. Got it? Good snap. Good snap. Let's go. No.
Well, there's no doubt who the
yeah.
There's no doubt who the boss of that huddle is, huh?
Without a doubt. Tommy is in charge.
So do you think somebody's going to block on this play?
They better.
They better, or they may.
I don't want to face that man.
They may be handed their head on a silver platter here as Demetrius Bryant goes back. BC still couldn't make a game out of this, and they blocked it. And look at this. It's going to be a touchdown for BC. Dawn Patterson blocks, and somebody didn't block, and Savannah High can't believe it. Unbelievable. We've got ourselves a football game. Dawn Patterson flies in for the block, recovers for the touchdown, and it is a 3-point ball game. Unbelievable. So all the advice, let's take a look at this. All the advice and exhortation of Tommy Macon in the huddle, and they didn't block. Comes in.
Yes, sir.
And Dawn Patterson falls on it in the end zone. Unbelievable turn of events here. The snap, the kick by Elkins is good. And we've got ourselves, with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left, a 2-point ball game. Savannah High 23, Benedictine 21. What a football game.
Well, now, Dave, here's where you go with the philosophy that you don't go for those 2-point conversions. If they can get an onside kick here,
field goal wins
and kick a field goal, you win the ball game. If you tried for those 2-point conversions and you were down by 4 or 5, a field goal doesn't win it. So sometimes the conservative approach works.
And you needed, that was the only thing that could have happened to really turn this ball game around. And
the last thing in the world Savannah High wanted, and that's what happened. It would have been a wiser decision to turn around and run out of the end zone.
Run out of the end zone, but that's why you heard Tommy Macon in the huddle saying block, block. You got to block the man out. And not only did Dawn Patterson come through there, you saw number 36, Brian Foyce, also have a clear shot at the punter. And now it's onside kick time, and these fans are really in this game. And look at the traffic jam outside of all the folks that have left this football game. And if BC comes back and win it, they'll deserve to miss it.
Why would you leave this?
I have no idea. And there's the onside kick. It's how BC's recovered it. Alan Fleming has recovered the onside kick, and the BC sidelines it go on bonkers.
That was absolutely perfect.
Unbelievable.
That was perfect.
Watch this, an unbelievable turn of events.
Watch the bounce of the football. I'll tell you, they say it's the game of inches, but the way that ball can bounce funny and the way fate goes, I mean, it was like they scripted that.
Unbelievable turn of events here. Are you believing what you're seeing here?
I really am not, but it's like I said, you know, let's bounce it right off that center part of the field there in that bad part, because it'll bounce right over the Savannah High defenders.
But now remember, BC cannot run their regular offense. They have no timeouts.
I want to know why they're running the clock.
The clock should not be running. It's a change of possession. 10 seconds have run off the clock. It's a change of possession.
The clock is running, and Coach Jim Walsh ought to be putting a straitjacket or something. I'd be going bonkers at this point.
And there's Charlie Russo, and that's going to hurt because remember, Savannah High or BC is out of timeouts. So they have to go up, and they're going to go up to the line right quickly here. They're running a no-huddle 2-minute offense, and they're taking a lot of time. Here's the replay of Russo getting sacked, but quickly, let's get back to the action. Russo throws it away to try to buy some time. And Bill, I'm with you. I'm not sure why the time ran off the clock after a change of possession.
I can't figure out why that clock was running. Now I know they keep the time on the field and all that, and that's the official time that Billy Giles is keeping, or one of the officials that keeps the time.
So now BC down to 2 plays. It's 3rd down and 18. BC has to convert somewhere here along the line. Remember, they have no timeouts. There's your situation, 1:10 seconds. As you saw it down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, a phenomenal turn of events in this football game, 23-21. Gee, has this game ever lived up to its billing? They completed it to Carlos Williams, but Williams is nowhere near the 1st down, and more time runs off the clock, and this will be the last play for BC. No huddle offense. Russo, they're taking entirely too long to get their play. Charlie Russo's just walking around out there like they got, I can't believe they're taking this much time to run this play. You have no timeouts. Why are you taking this long to run a play?
These should be called. This is your 2-minute drill.
You got to have these plays called. They've wasted 20 seconds here to call this play. No excuse in that.
They may get a delay of game.
No excuse in taking this long when it's the last play of the game. 4th down, Russo rolling out, looking. It is complete. It is complete. They will stop the clock to set the change. Complete 1st down at the 28-yard line. But those 20 seconds that they took to bring that play in, it's inexcusable on the part of the BC sidelines to take that long to bring in that play.
You could have almost a minute to go now, and now you're down to only 20 seconds.
We don't like to be critical, but there's no excuse in that. Absolutely no excuse in not having that play called and ready to go when you've got no timeouts and you're trying to run your offense. That is overshot. That may have cost them the game. I cannot believe that. 2nd down and 10. The ball at the 30-yard line.
On that onside kick, Dave, again, when that clock was running, I don't understand it, but nobody on the BC sideline seemed to be upset about it.
So that must be the rule.
I don't know why. On a change of possession like that, the clock would still run.
Maybe it's not considered a change of possession because BC was kicking the ball off, so it may not be considered a change of possession.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think
you got
of.
To set the chains and everything.
They swing it out. Well, that's what they did, and that's when they started the clock, and Elmore gets out of bounds. So it's come down to this. Are they going to set up for a field goal? They are. They're going to bring Jason Elkins in. The ball is at the 18-yard line, so it will be a 35-yard field goal attempt here by BC. And if Elkins hits it, they win this football game. Unbelievable.
You are going to go. They may not be able to repair the stands over there if he hits this one.
So they setting it down here. BC executed it beautifully. They're setting it down. It looks like about the 27-yard line. So it's going to be a 37-yard kick. This place will go bonkers if Elkins hits it. The kick. It is on its way. It is good. It is good. Benedictine has unbelievably come back and win this football game. Are you believing what we've just seen?
And there's still 2 seconds on the clock. They need to get those people off the field. There's still 2 seconds to play. This game is not over.
Unbelievable.
This game is not over.
Wow. Wow.
And this.
Are we seeing this? They have to get the players off the field.
And the people sitting out there in traffic have all of a sudden stopped and said, what's happened?
Wow. And there's a penalty flag on the field for celebration. But, Bill, this is one of the most phenomenal high school football games I've ever seen. With the turn of events,
it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard not to because BC was hopelessly out of this thing.
Without question.
Only moments ago.
Without question.
With 2 minutes to play, it was absolutely hopeless.
They were down, Bill, with 2 minutes to play by 9 points.
You think somebody up there likes them?
And then they blocked the punt, score a touchdown, and then orchestrate a masterful drive with no timeouts, and they even wasted 20 seconds bringing a play in. Unbelievable.
And maybe now that wasted 20 seconds is actually going to work in their favor because Savannah High has no time left.
I am not believing
the
what
time
I
will
just
expire on the kickoff.
Boy, I tell you what, we're going out with a bang on our high school football coverage, aren't we?
Mercy sakes alive.
Savannah High's stands is in stunned disbelief.
Not since the 81 championship game where I saw Savannah Christian go 80 yards in 30 seconds, or actually in 24 seconds, there was 30 seconds left, to win the state championship, completing something like 6 passes, have I ever seen anything like this.
This is stunning. Because they had so many factors working against them.
Ladies and gentlemen, ain't you glad you came?
Woo, mercy.
And to those people who left early, well, you deserved it.
This will be the last play. It goes
going to go out of
bounds, so Savannah High will have one.
No, the clock is not going to start until somebody on the field touches it.
So Savannah High will have one desperation play here from their own 35-yard line.
And that's exactly what they may want to do. They were in such command and control. And Dave, you know, they had several opportunities to put this thing away. You're sitting there and you say, well, you know, a couple of dropped passes here for people that were wide open that should have done it. But I'm telling you, hats off to the Cadets. This is an absolutely incredible turnaround. And Savannah High will once again be denied an undefeated season.
And if you would have said that 2 minutes ago, I would have locked you in a rubber room with a straitjacket on it.
There's no doubt about it.
Just unbelievable.
This is why anybody who bets on sports is nuts. I mean, this is.
We're waiting here for them to set the ball down. I don't know what's taking so long. Demetrius Bryant has a problem with his headgear here. And we may have been, you know, sounded like we were being real critical of the BC coaches, and we don't want people to get the wrong impression. We were just commenting on what we saw during that drive, but unbelievably it worked out for them.
It's going to work in their favor.
They had so many things against them. Had to have a block punt. They converted a 4th down. Demetrius Bryant goes deep. It's batted down, and that's the ball game. BC in unbelievable fashion. I cannot describe the finish of that football game. We got to get out of here very quickly.
Where's that cannon?
All right, let's take a look. This is the winning kick that's accelerated BC to sub-region champions and into the playoffs.
They couldn't have a nicer guy than this kid because he really works hard on those kicks. And there was no doubt in your mind.
No doubt about it.
He nailed it, and that is under extreme pressure. That is a championship blue chipper.
Just an unbelievable football game, Bill. It's been a pleasure working with you this year, and what a way to go out, huh?
Boy, both teams should have won this one, Dave. And thanks. It's been a pleasure working with me, too. We hope you folks at home have enjoyed it. We certainly have enjoyed being here.
We have enjoyed it. What a way to end the year. BC, in one of the most remarkable comebacks you will ever see, beat Savannah High 24-23. BC and Savannah High both go to the playoffs. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. For our entire crew, for the Hurdy Broadcast Services, for Bill Edwards, I'm Dave Williams. See you next year.
This sounds